Hello friends, and welcome once again to Trials of Imorah. We are still in this transitional period since level 5 is done, so I'm just working on lots of random stuff as we try to set up the foundations for level 6. But lots of playtesting has been done over the past month, so let's take a look at some of the amazing changes that have been made. Starting with the main menu, you might be wondering why I'm here. Now, when you start a new game, let's delete this real quick, make some space. When you start a new game, and actually when you load between scenes at all, there's now a loading icon that appears. Don't get to see it too much because unfortunately my load times are pretty good. Here's some other footage of it loading longer when the game is actually built. Additionally, when you now cycle through your items on your hotbar, it now displays the name of the item in the top right portion of the screen. I might have settings for it later on to change the position, because I've had some different ideas of where to put it, maybe the bottom right, maybe right next to the cursor, because that's where you're focused while you're aiming to use these weapons and items. Yeah, would definitely be open to any suggestions on that, but the idea of it, regardless of where it's put, is to give more clarity about what item is currently equipped without having to hover over it, because maybe some of the icons look too similar or something, which I'm definitely trying to avoid, but you know, just giving as much information as possible to the players. There's also now a dedicated crafting button in the inventory once you get the crafting kit, so you no longer have to cycle through your inventory, put the kit on your hotbar, and then open it that way. You can just directly hit the crafting button and open up the crafting menu. I also want to add it so that it'll open once you hit a hotkey for it, probably the C key. Within the crafting menu, there's also a new thing that you can craft. You can now craft arrow bundles, which use the new item in the game, wood scraps. Wood scraps are collected from wooden crates, barrels, and wooden spikes. There we go. We just got 6 of them from those wooden crates I spawned in. So, opening back up the crafting menu, combined with some iron ore, we can craft an arrow bundle, which will give us 4 arrows. There we go. Now we have 45. Perfect. Following a lot of playtesting, I've also done more balancing for the boss fight. It was a little bit difficult, but don't worry, it still is difficult. Just some of the timings have been adjusted to make it a little bit less BS. So now there's more windows of opportunity to attack the boss, and it's a little bit better about telegraphing what's going to happen. In addition to the scraps of wood for crafting, there's also some new items that have actual active effects that you can use. I've added a bit more content to the previous level. Back on level 1 in the forest, you can now visit the witch in her hut that's in a secret place on the level, and there's now a use for the death sunflowers that you can either buy from her or find throughout the poisonous forest. You can use it to make death markers, which is a special projectile that when you throw it at an enemy, it not only poisons them, but permanently poisons them. So the effect will never wear off, and they'll keep taking damage until they die, or you die. You restart the game, or something like that. It won't stop. It's a lot of damage, so it'll be very useful for enemies with a lot of health, or that you plan on fighting for a long time. Just to demonstrate it real quick, let me use it on this generic imp right here, and actually let me also activate this rune so we can see his health bar. Just throw it at him, permanently poisons him until he eventually collapses. Well, explodes into smoke, but yeah. There's also now a use for all of the cave mushrooms that you can pick up throughout the levels, primarily in level 3 though. This is where they shine the most with the whole mushroom farm in the water village here. You can now craft mushroom gel, which is basically an alternative method of healing yourself. It heals all 3 stats a little bit, not as much as the potions, but it's just another thing available to the player to heal themselves, right? Because with playtesting, I was finding a lot of people would run out of healing potions while they were in the middle of a level, and then they're just kind of screwed. They kind of almost soft lock their game because they just keep dying in one spot, and there's no real way for them to replenish their health at all. This might not be an entire fix to that issue, but I am taking steps to address it, and this is the first step. It might be a matter of adding even more health items, maybe eventually restructuring the entire design. Probably not going to be that drastic, but for now we have a new mushroom gel. It's very tasty. I don't know about that, it's globs of mushroom and slime gel blobbed together. Did I not make any? Wait, let's make some. Oh yeah, I didn't make any. Yeah, let's make some. Delicious. So some of you will recognize this little area. This is the very start of the game on the surface, before you delve into the underground entire rest of the game. But I made a couple slight changes to this area. Well, actually right now it looks exactly the same. Let's fix that. There's now a chance when you go onto the surface that it will be nighttime instead of daytime at sunset. The code right now literally just makes it a 50-50 chance, so it could appear this way when you start the game. My intention is that this will only be the case after you beat the 5th boss, marking you're halfway through the game, so then when you return, it'll sometimes be nighttime. There's not an exact reason for that, for the passage of time. It might make more sense actually for that to happen after you beat the 1st level, because of the amount of time that has passed is probably more than an in-game day to get to the 5th level. But regardless, this doesn't really have that much of a purpose, but it looks very pretty. So I impulsively made it. The music changes, and the interior of this temple here is also adjusted for the nighttime atmosphere. Lastly for this time, friends, I have this little proof of concept area to show you for level 6. In case you didn't know, it's going to be a fire level, so expect lots of fire and lava and red smoke and red dust as you walk around everywhere. I am currently in the process of making art assets for this level. That will probably take another month or 2, maybe longer. Well, I'll probably be making art assets throughout the entire process, but the foundational pieces to start building level design and everything will probably take about 2 months. This is what I have so far though. I have these nice ruined buildings over here and have a setup for lava falls to place everywhere. And yeah, hope this gives you a sense of what is to come in the future. That is all for this time though. Thank you so much for your continued support on the project. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please, I implore you to leave it down in the comments. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Take care. Until next time.